Okay, so this is a video I've been meaning to make for a while, but haven't really had the time. I may sound sick because I kind of am, and I guess this is gonna be about jezebelic Leyland syndrome house niggers and the cash for kids system.
Hey y'all.
My phone halfway works, so just bear with me.
What's up, man? Y'all alright, man?
Tonight on The Edge, it has been a week since we last told you the story of two brothers living on their parents' porch in the cold. Now, a major update on this case has had a lot of people talking. Viewers have been reaching out. They've been asking what happened to those boys.
Well, Detroit police are on the case, but the future of the brothers is still unclear tonight. Fox News' Jessica Dupnag joins us live to tell us why and where do things stand right now, Jessica?
Most importantly, since our story aired, those boys have been staying with family friends inside, safe and off that porch. Now, when our story aired, it launched a Detroit police investigation, a real deep dive that they've thrown a lot of resources at to figure out what exactly was going on at this home on the east side of Detroit, and they think they found some answers.
Our investigation showed that the parents have really done everything that they can.
A new twist to a story that shook so many. Two brothers, 12 and 15 years old, sleeping.
And of course, they're gonna try to make it seem like they didn't want the boys out there and they don't know what happened. They're gonna try to make it seem like, oh, well, they were just sleeping on the porch because they're bad or because they're quote unquote mentally ill and didn't see anything wrong with it because they're so mentally ill they were quote unquote retarded and didn't see anything wrong with sleeping on the porch. Because that's what these systems do.
Basically living on their parents' porch since last summer on Detroit's east side. Shoes, blankets, toothbrush. This is the craziest thing I've seen. We watched as the older boy came home last Monday night, set down his book bag, and fluffed his blankets on the porch. Community outrage and the theory the kids were being forced out there.
And that's another thing. You see in abuse situations like this that since the creation of social media, people's abuse situations have become entertainment for people. Now it's something that people record and laugh about and joke about while victim blaming, and they post it on the internet and talk about how quote unquote they want to help so much and how the police care so much. And honestly, if you call the police in an abuse situation, the police are going to tell you it's not their job to help, it's CPS's job, and then CPS is going to tell you whatever in the world. Either way, don't depend on the Cash for Kids system staff. You don't want the police involved because they're going to blame and charge you. CPS either isn't going to do anything or you're going to get taken into the CPS system, which is just trafficking, and then you're going to go through more Cash for Kids system hell. This is exactly why people end up doing the runaway Layla to 18 thing, because really, as long as you do it right, that's the only thing that really works, and that's the only thing that's really going to save you.
Punishment. Our story prompted an in-depth investigation by Detroit Police Child Abuse Unit.
This has been probably one of the biggest challenges in my career.
Commander Rebecca McKay, the head of DPD's major crimes, sat down with us to explain what
Getting some kids off the porch has been the biggest challenge in your career.
Investigation found.
They wanted to sleep out there, and that's what they told neighbors. That's what they've told anybody who tried to help them.
She says the kids always had access to the home, the bathroom, and food.
And of course they're going to say they wanted to. And honestly, I like that that was their response, because to be truthfully honest, the best thing you could do if you're in an abuse situation is just not tell anybody, because to be truthfully honest, everybody around you already knows. That's something that I learned years ago, and I used to talk about all the time on the evidence channels when I would talk about my situation and other people's situations. People around you already know. CPS knows, the police department knows, the school knows, and etc. knows. The thing is that once you start asking for help, people get mad because they don't really want to help and others are too scared to help. And then the Cash for Kids system staff, such as mandated reporters of police and CPS, get paid to help abuse. And it's something I'm forgetting. Then another thing is that your trauma symptoms can also make you get treated even worse when you already can like get put in the cash for kids system by your parents, but also the school system. If they see your trauma symptoms, or if you're begging for help too much, they'll throw you into some placement regardless of what your parents say. So even if your parents don't want you, well, no. Even if your parents don't throw you in a placement their self, if you have too many trauma symptoms, the school system will throw you into the prison pipeline on their own. So something I learned some years ago is that the best thing you could do. Hold up. Wait a minute. The best thing you could do if you're in an abuse situation is just not say anything and back away slowly and quietly, because the people around you already know anyway, based off your trauma symptoms, and a lot of people have probably witnessed your abuse, such as neighbors, as you can see in situations like this.
The older boy apparently has serious behavioral issues, including a juvenile complaint for assault and battery against a family member. It's not a punishment.
And of course, they're going to do that. They're going to start. Okay, wait a minute. How do I phrase this? The case that's supposed to be about your abusers or your perpetrators isn't really going to be about them. It's going to be turned on to the youth or the victims in the situation. Just like how a CPS case isn't going to be about who's doing whatever to you, it's going to be about you. So it's not going to be they're sexually assaulting you, it's going to be you're getting sexually assaulted because you did blah 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 blah. The police aren't your friends. None of these people are your friends. None of these people are your heroes.
And all from the parents. The parents, they don't want them on the porch, but
they just have so many quote-unquote behavioral issues to where they just can't get off the porch, and they like the porch because they can have behaviors on the porch, quote-unquote.
Not going to fight.
Honestly, I hate the term behavior. I would say behavior is one of the stupidest labels in the cash for kids system. Like, what is a behavior?
And Chance getting into a physical altercation with a 6'5", 220-pound 15-year-old. Commander McKay.
And of course, they're painting these kids as bad black boys that are just so dangerous and big and tall and risky to where they have to be on the porch to contain their bad black boyness. And of course, jezebelic, abusive, Willie Lynch syndrome, house nigger parents love stuff like this because they can continue to abuse and they make their kid a black statistic.
The parents have tried to get their kids in therapy and done everything possible to redirect their past. Since last week, the kids have been living with family.
And then apparently the parents are pastors or something. If you guys are pastors, then why won't you just do deliverance on your kids? And honestly, if your kids are messed up, it's because of something you did and generational stuff anyway.
Friends, as DPD and Children's Protective Services come up with a long-term plan. We're trying to find any way that we can get them on the right track, and so we're not.
Because of course this is all their fault. They need to be put on the right track. They need to be put in a TTI and locked up somewhere, getting drugged and essayed, tied to a bed. Their usual rhetoric.
Up yet. Those parents have been cleared of any potential charges. They will not be charged in this situation. However, the 15-year-old son, he does have that.
When are they ever going to be charged?
Pending assault and battery.
But of course, the kid victim has the pending charges, as always. I'm so glad my mom didn't do the 911 thing, though, because I've met so many people who have all types of false charges on them that were put on them by their abusers. Like, they block a hit from their molester, that's an assault charge. They say anything back to their abusers, that's another charge. They get sexually exploited, the kid victim gets charged with quote-unquote CP. That's how it goes.
And and juvenile court. Now, Commander McKay, she wanted to stress they even interviewed these boys' teachers and coaches. The 15-year-old apparently a star basketball player. Both of these boys doing really well in school. And the investigators at DPD, they really want to set them on the right path. And they said they're not giving up. Reporting live in Detroit, Jessica.
They're not giving up on making money off of them and trying to push them down the prison pipeline.
On the edge.
Yeah, what stands out here really is also the Detroit Police Department really taking an active role in this and trying to
How is the police department taking an active role in when the police said that they couldn't do anything because no crime was being committed?
fences with the family. It's nice to see, I have to say.
Yeah, and it was not an easy case. You got a seasoned commander there saying this is one of the most challenging cases that she's worked on. And I have to say personally, we've been getting messages, emails about these boys. There's a lot of interest, and hopefully, the community rallying around them will redirect their paths.
Right.
And of course, comments were saying the usual bullcrap, like, quote unquote, they're grown, which grown is a term that's usually used on people who are sexually acting out because of trauma, or who are just used to having to take care of themselves from a young age. But people are saying that they're just grown, and they wanted to move from their relatives because they wanted to go somewhere where there's no quote-unquote rules. So, like, what are the rules?
As it gets colder out, obviously we'd like them all to be under the same roof. Thanks so much, Jessica.
As usual, no accountability nowhere. People messing up their community and destroying the youth and the fallen nation. And yeah, so there's that.